Good Thursday morning, everyone. We are on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with Jim Cramer to talk about the markets. And Jim, another up opening here.
Yeah, but look, I think that this is another one that's, this one actually has some grounding. The CPI was low, confirming the PPI, confirming this new narrative, which is that we have very good growth, a la the Wells Fargo conference, the railroad car loadings plus 7% year over year. Thank you, Stephanie Ling. So we've got good growth, we've got low inflation. That means interest rates can go a little bit higher, but things are, the stagflation narrative is off the table. And that's really important because if you look at when the sell-off started, it was about stagflation, it was about higher inflation, and it was about slower growth. And now it's the opposite, and that gives people a lot of hope that you can do some buying. Now, I don't like when they soar at the opening, but oil did reverse. I think oil can reverse again, just understand. I have a piece in Real Money about what happened in 2008. I'm working on that. But, look, I think that there are underpinnings. Don't forget, on Friday we tend to sell off. So a lot of people last week sold Thursday in anticipation of a down Friday. And
in Real Money, you talk about some of the tensions in Israel. You were at the Golan Heights.
Right, and I think that people have to recognize that there's been armistice there since '74. So to see missiles flying back and forth is, if there will be a war, it can conceivably be there. I certainly don't want it, but those of us who've been there know that that's, you can look at Damascus. So, I mean, understand that, that there's a grounding for why oil's going up, and they don't seem to be able to find, oil's not coming to the market the way it should. Saudis should help out here. The Saudis are our ally, they should be offering more oil.
And we still have trade worries in the background, but the Wall Street Journal seems to suggest that maybe talks are going better.
Yeah, I mean, it's back and forth. Yesterday, Wilbur Ross was saying they're not close. The Journal indicates that there's the Chinese recognize that you got to change the imbalance, and then the ZTE is ceasing all major operations because they need U.S. technology. So, I mean, I think that the U.S. is flexing its muscles. Obviously, when it comes to Europe, we're not fooling around, and I'm sure with China we're not fooling around. But the Korean situation does make you feel like there's more cooperation than people realize.
Yeah, you saw those pictures with Mike Pompeo and Kim Jong-un.
Yes.
Pretty incredible to see that. Meanwhile, Jim, Macy's downgraded at Morgan Stanley.
Yeah, and this is hurting Kohl's. Kohl's has got a good yield. I'd be the biggest position if the stock got to 50. For action alerts. Macy's is, the piece is really much more about how they're not going to sell much more real estate, and the numbers aren't that good. The numbers have been going down, and my reaction to that is you're betting against Jeff Gennett, and Jeff Gennett is engineering a multi-year turnaround. So I think that the piece has very little gravitas.
And you'll be interviewing Jeff Gennett at the Deal's Corporate Governance Conference.
I will be, and that's going to be spectacular because Jeff doesn't do interviews.
And that is on June 7th, so we'll look forward to that.
Also, that I think is going to be sold out, and it's a conference that I'm running, and it's got unbelievable people, and I'm not trying to stampede that one. That one's just going to sell out.
Well, you've got Nelson Peltz, Paul Singer.
Right.
I mean, it's quite a lineup.
Yeah.
All right. Jim, also, you had the CEO of Etsy on Mad Money last night.
Yes, and there's the story. That's the anti-Amazon, and one of the things we talked about was how good Mother's Day will be. It's a much more curated site. It is, without a doubt, the most improved site that I deal with. I mean, everybody knows that it was quite clunky even just a few years ago. Now it feels like Amazon. It's very easy to get around, very easy to buy from. Obviously, something like more than 90% of the people who work for it, who submit skilled, non-commoditized product are women working from home, and they don't mass produce anything, which is really one of the reasons why people like it so much.
Unlike Amazon, which is a destination for those commodity goods.
Exactly right.
Also, Jim, you had the CEO of Xpo Logistics on. They're focused on last mile delivery.
Yeah, and for large, they have. If you have something that's large, they're going to ship it. They also do brokerage. It's a remarkable company. Brad Jacobs has put together the company that I think people now choose to buy if they want to buy e-commerce, not FedEx or UPS. UPS with labor problems and logistical problems. FedEx, just people feel that it's expensive. But XPO has got a lot of things that they can do. I think they're in M&A mode. please look it over. We had a great one for an Xpo for action alerts. We wish it would come in again so we could buy more.
Right, I mean, I think that was one of your complaints, that the stock has done so well you can't get in.
Right.
And they also use robotics and drones, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just a really good story.
Jim, who do you have coming up on Mad Money tonight?
Okay, I've got BioMarin. The biotech group is just horrendous. Let's see if we can't get something going there. And then there's a lot of IPOs these days. Remember Groupon? That came during a flurry of IPOs. They were losing money, now they're making a lot of money, they're making a lot of EBITDA. They're buying back a lot of stock, and I think that they've got a very good local offering. So I like it.
And Jim, before we go, I'm sure you're already starting to prepare for your monthly Action Alerts call. That's next Tuesday at 11:30.
Yeah, we'll be ready.
So much to talk about.
Yeah.
And Jim and I are going to continue the conversation on actionalertsplus.com. Please join us there.